What a Seattle Seahawks win. 31-17 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's obviously a lot that we can still clean up. On the offense especially, there's a lot of little concerns about the play calling with Clint Kubiak, but this was exciting to watch with the positives from the offense, the positives from the special teams, and the positives from the defense. I'm going to start with the special teams really quick because it's just not something I'm going to talk about that much. It's more of a Steelers mistake than a Seahawks positive, but it was a beautiful part of the game, and I think something that we need to continue to look at as the Seahawks do have a pretty good special teams unit, last week including. But the Steelers, after the Seahawks hit a field goal to go up by 3, I think the Steelers returner either forgot the rules. Maybe he thought it was a punt for a second in his head, and it's like, I'm just going to let the ball bounce. He might have touched it, but it doesn't even matter. So the interesting thing there is the rule is if it bounces anywhere between the 20 and the end zone, within 20 yards, it's a live ball. If it's before that, it's not. Then it has to be touched. But if it bounces from the 20 or closer, it's a live ball, and he just let it go. I don't know what was going on in his head, but he let it go. And George Halani ran back there full speed and jumped on the ball. I almost got concerned that he let go of it for a second. It was almost like he jumped on it then lost it, but he got it, and it was a touchdown. And that's pretty much what put the Seahawks over the top and gave them those 17 points in the third quarter, and 7 in the third. So the Seahawks scored 24 of their 31 in the third and fourth quarter. So second half football, that's what you want to see. They also gave up 14 points in the first half and gave up 3 in the second half. And regardless, that's what you want to see your team do. Now, you obviously would like to see them play well the entire game, but it's also nice to see them play well as the game gets closer to the end. And that's what we saw. A good first drive, scoring a touchdown, scoring 7 points on the first drive of the game, then an awful offense until the first drive of the second half, scores again, and things got better from there. There were still some mistakes that we're going to get into, but that's what you want to see from a team. Maybe a slow start, but all that matters, the Pete Carroll way. Does it matter in the first quarter? Nope. Second? Nope. Third? The fourth quarter is what matters, and that's what they did. They came up big in the third, the fourth quarter, allowed 3 points to Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, that offense in the whole second half while scoring 24 points in the second half. That's a win for me. So let's talk about this offense. Okay, the offense. I could start with the bad, and I'm going to, because I want to get it out of the way quick, because I'd rather right now after a win talk about the positives of the offense. But the bad is the play calling's just still not there totally. I know it's Clint Kubiak's first year with the Seahawks and first year right now with Sam Darnold in this offense, but it's just not quite there. Some of the decisions, the 4th and 1 screen pass, and our offensive line's still not the best. That screen pass on 4th and 1 that led to the interception, he had pressure all over him right away against a good defensive line. Just not the right call. And I know they were just so honed in on giving Zach Charbonnet more carries than Kenneth Walker. I did a video, a YouTube short, TikTok short, whatever. You can see it on my page yesterday, the day before the game, saying Kenneth Walker is going to be the running back 1 and show it again this week. He's not going to lose his job. I'm just like, I feel like it's so obvious. He had a bad week, and he's going to come out and show out. And he did. 13 carries, 105 yards, and a touchdown, with a 13-yard reception as well. So was that 118 yards total and a touchdown? But 13 carries. They still gave Zach Charbonnet more carries, 15, for 10 yards, 0.7 yards a carry. At some point in the game, when he's at 10 carries for under a yard per carry, and you have Kenneth Walker at 8.1 yards per carry, just give the ball to Kenneth Walker. I think some of the play calling and personnel stuff was still just a little bit off. They wanted to get into the play action calls and stuff, and I feel like sometimes they were overusing them, like the play action screen pass on 4th down. But with all that said, one of the picks that Sam Darnold had was the mistake of play calling, but the other one, just a bad throw. Other than that, we're talking about a game for him with the 89.8 quarterback rating, 22 for 33, 295 yards and a touchdown, and moved the ball around. Let's look at the receiving, which is what I love to see. 8 catches, 103 yards for Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's going to keep getting 100-yard games. I mean, I think he's going to have over 1,000-yard season pretty easily this season. I mean, he's already at what, 200 and he had 124 and 103. So yeah, 227 already 2 weeks in. Cooper Kupp showed up big. 7 catches for 90 yards. Great to see. Torrey Horton, 2 catches, 32 yards and a touchdown. His first NFL touchdown. You had 2 catches for Elijah Arroyo, and you had the 2 catches for A.J. Barner with a touchdown. I love to see a touchdown from a tight end. You got to use your tight ends more, and at least they had 4 catches for 57 yards combined today and a touchdown, and had all in your 3 receivers. This is what you wanted to see. When you went from DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba, you wanted to see those replacements come up. And these numbers look like a game of those 3. You can look at the JSN 8 for 103. That's going to happen. The Cooper Kupp 7 for 90 is like DK Metcalf numbers. It's more than he had today at 3 for 20 with a touchdown for the Steelers. He did get a touchdown, but this reminds me of last year's number. And you got a couple targets to your third guy like Tyler Lockett. Torrey Horton, 2 catches, 32 yards, and a big play, a touchdown. Offense, outside of some of these personnel and a couple bad play calls that they've been making, overall, I like what I saw, and I'm much happier than I expected to be, is a good way to say it. I had so many concerns from last week, like, is Sam Darnold going to revert back to that Sam Darnold? And these play calls are bad. And Kenneth Walker was awful, right? Like last week just looked like he's going to be running back 2 and Zach Charbonnet is going to be running back 1. But the script kind of flipped this week. We had Kenneth Walker looking like Kenneth Walker, 105 yards and a touchdown. Sam Darnold, I'm going to erase that 1 pick he had. That was just, I swear that's just play calling, was just god-awful. But 295, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, but it was 2. But like one actual pick that I thought was his problem. Looks like a solid quarterback. Receivers, spread out, balls getting passed around to everyone. Perfect. It was good to see. And the defense. Let's talk about the defense for a couple minutes here. The defense, without Devin Witherspoon, maybe your best player on defense. Maybe it's Leonard Williams or Devin Witherspoon. One of the 2 are probably your best players on defense. Maybe Ernest Jones. Those are probably my top 3s. Ernest Jones, Leonard Williams, and Devin Witherspoon. Without Devin Witherspoon, you had a win, and you held the Steelers to 17 points. 6 points in the first quarter, 8 in the second quarter, and 3 in the fourth quarter. No points in the third. That's exactly what you like to see when you talk about showing up when one of your guys is down. You obviously got a pick from Kobe Bryant, which was great to see. Josh Jobs was out there, playing a good game. Kobe Bryant did get the pick, but he did get a touchdown caught on him by DK Metcalf. That was just body size. I mean, DK Metcalf just bullied him for the touchdown there. It happens. Whatever. There was no egregious Tariq Woolen plays, which was great to see. Nothing that stood out where you would say, like, last week where you're like, that is embarrassing. You like to see that, especially going against a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, didn't make him look that amazing. I mean, Jalen Warren was their leading receiver, their running back, with 4 catches for 86 yards, but he had a 65-yard reception. Without that, he'd be at 21 yards. So their highest yardage by anyone would have been their tight end for 31 yards, Freiermuth, and Jonnu Smith with 27. I mean, their starting wide receivers had 22 yards. Calvin Austin, DK Metcalf had 20 yards. And there was a couple guys of 6 and 7 yards. So defense showed up. And this is what, when you say show up, this is what you mean. Like, they truly showed up without Devin Witherspoon. You obviously got a Darion Kendrick interception. He came from the Rams. and is now on the Seahawks corner. He got to play a lot of that nickel corner side. I mean, you had Josh Jobs, you had Reek Woolen, and then you had Darion Kendrick getting a lot of playing time, and he ended up with a pick in the second half. And then you had in the red zone too. Let's not forget that was in the end zone, not even the red zone. He got a pick that before they were about to either score a field goal or a touchdown. So that's a huge play there as well. So overall, we also got to see a Byron Murphy sack, which was awesome to see. Leonard Williams always causing havoc. Jaron Reed with the sack. There was just a lot of positives when you look at a team on the road coming off a loss, losing one of their top 3 defensive players, coming off a bad weekend on defense. I mean, bad moments on defense against the 49ers at home. I mean, I'm not going to say the defense was awful against the 49ers, but you had Tariq Woolen with some embarrassing plays and some big plays allowed. And we had that issue again today, the Jaylen Warren, 65-yard catch. It's the NFL. You're going to give up some plays sometimes, some big plays. But overall, you see Ernest Jones and Tyrese Knight leading the team in tackles. You had Reek Woolen, Josh Jobe, and Darion Kendrick holding it down while Devin Witherspoon's out. Defensive line caused a lot of pressure. They didn't have as many sacks as you'd like to see on the final box scores, but you got sacks from Jaron Reed and Byron Murphy, and your defense looked like they were making Aaron Rodgers uncomfortable, which I think they did. 18 for 33, 203 yards, a touchdown and 2 picks, 3 sacks for 20 yards, a 58 quarterback rating. Not a great game. And, a couple big hits. Derek Hall hit him hard. He got up laughing and tapped Derek Hall, gave him a smile and a nod, what a great hit. So overall, caused havoc, made the quarterback uncomfortable, which is really important. Held them to 72 rushing yards, held them to 215 passing yards, and that's with a 65-yard completion by Jaylen Warren. So we're talking about 150 passing yards, really. If we look at any week on the road and you're going to hold the team to 72 rushing and 150 to 200 passing yards, your defense is doing a great job. Offense showed up, defense showed up, and the Seahawks get a win on the road. I mean, there's not much more to say other than what a great game. I'm going to be back all week breaking it down more, talking more about PFF grading coming up, what's coming next, what we can improve on. I'll do maybe more of a specific video on the offense and more of a specific video on the defense. But this was a cool win to see, and I'm excited. 1-1 on the year. Just keep on winning. Every week matters. Let's go get a win next week as well. I'm happy. I hope you are too. Like, subscribe, and comment if you want to support me. And I love y'all. We'll see you next time. Peace.